Good evening, junkies. Welcome to EminiJunkie.com, your ES Trading Mentor's free trading video for Thursday, August 18th, 2011. Today we had a total of 13 executable trade signals for a max potential of 36 ES ticks. This video is for educational purposes only, is intended to highlight our high probability trade setups and give you a feel for the quantity of trades taken each trading day using this approach. A full trading plan and daily live trading room can be accessed via our website at EminiJunkie.com. Okay, we opened up this morning right around 59.50. We had a huge gap down in the overnight. Obviously, we were well outside of our high probability gap range. In fact, we set up what we call a go with day, and that's one of those situations where you try to get on this downside move in the most advantageous position as possible and get yourself to a break-even trade and try to hold it for the balance of the day, closing out either at 2:30 or 3:30 in the afternoon, as these type days typically they go with the professional gap. So that was kind of the setup this morning. The market pushed down, and we had plenty of signals that fired throughout the day. The first signal came right before around 9:50. We had a signal to get long, is when we came through our moving average. That signal didn't even make it to the swing high, so we ended up getting stopped out on that position, T1 minus 2. After that stop out, it came down into what we call a short signal, and that signal did produce targets 1 and targets 2 to the downside for 11 ticks. And this is one of those situations where if you were able to catch this move, that was a fast news move quickly thereafter, and this was the opportunity to try to get short. Officially, we don't get confirmation of the go with trade until after that 10:15, 10:30 time frame. But nonetheless, that news came out. The markets just really sold it off, and there were some folks in our room that were able to catch a good portion of that swing. And finally, they were stopped out when we came back up above our gold moving average line, right around we crossed back through that line around 136, 137, and we had a signal to get long. That signal ended up producing targets 1 and targets 2 for 7 ticks to the upside. Now that was a counter trend bounce. This was just really profit taking off that dramatic move we had to the downside. And when we were kind of putting in this pullback area, there was a couple of false signals. The first one, T1 minus 2, came up through. We had an extension long, T2 plus 7. But if you were looking at a nice longer term chart, we did hit into a resistance zone, came down through our moving average, gave a beautiful looking signal to get short, and unfortunately for us, the first contract was easily taken off, but this volatility that was here just pulled up high enough to stop us out. Unfortunate, because it went on to be a winner, a T2 winner had you not been stopped out. But we keep a very tight stop in this game, and T1 minus 2 is what ended up on that particular trade at 10:35. The market made another push down, and then there was this fast move up. You can see this nice extension style entry here, targets 1 and targets 2 for 9 ticks. Now this time the market really started to push into some resistance zone, and it started to stall out. You can see between 10:50 and 11:05, about 15 minutes, it was just kind of going sideways, and it made this quick and dramatic move to the downside. Nice signal short, targets 1 and targets 2 for a small profit of 6 ticks. And then it wasn't, I believe it wasn't until later in the afternoon that we had another strong push to the upside after the lunchtime dead zone. And you can see right going into the dead zone, you had that signal entry long. Again, volatility stopped us out. Even though the trade ultimately went higher, it doesn't look like much, but this is 4 points of data right here. So our swings are tighter than that, and T1 minus 2 heading into the lunchtime dead zone. Now between 11:30 and 1:15, that's the red area you see on this chart when the market was making a nice bounce. We do not initiate any new trades. We just kind of let the market do its thing, and that's because there's usually a lot of whipsaw back and forth. The volume tends to be lighter. You can see the market did kind of go back and forth here a little bit. It's not until after 1:15 we start looking for trades. The signal here fired about 1 o'clock or so, so no opportunity for us to take part in this next push to the downside and then it became pretty interesting here, because as we were making these lows around 1:45, 2 o'clock, we had a signal to get long. Luckily, our first contract was able to get off before taking the heat, so T1 -2, signal to the downside. Not so lucky on this one. This one ended up coming right back against us all the way, T0 -14, but then that set us up for a signal long entry on that fast move extension, targets 1, targets 2, 11 ticks to the upside. And then you know that 2:30, 3:30 time frame. So here was 2:30. We weren't at our lows of the day. We put those in just before 2 o'clock. The next place to look to take off would be at 3:30. The market did come back down through our moving average, gave an extension signal to the downside, targets 1 and targets 2 for 9 ticks. And then if you go over until you know that 3:30 type area, we're trading down around 11:30 at that time frame. So the go with that, although 2:30 wasn't your low of the day, the 3:30 time frame was. There's about a 10-point difference there between those two areas, but nonetheless, the market took a lot of heat all day long. Started before the market opened and continued after the 10 o'clock news announcement. And it wasn't until after 3:30, late in the day, 3:40 time frame, the market did get a bounce and actually ended up closing above its S3 level. So very active day, high volatility, a lot of partial stop outs there, one full stop out, 13 trades, 36 ES ticks. I want to thank you for watching. For more details on this plan, including all the chart setups, or to join our live trading room and video newsletter, please visit EminiJunkie.com or just simply click the link at the top of the screen. Thanks, and make it a great day.